Guys, it's Jen again. This has been on my mind for a little bit lately, this topic. I always relay back to my childhood and growing up with the King family and in the King family and the impacts that it had on me and things that I've learned from my experience. And something that keeps popping up for me is, sorry if you can hear the dog, one of the things that keeps popping up for me is how I always felt so much attention and love from people who had every right to be busy, who had every right to set me aside. The King family was huge, and there were great aunts and great uncles and tons of cousins, and everybody had their own grandkids and lots of their own grandkids. And one of the things that I just always felt growing up in this family was that I mattered and that I was important to not just my grandma and grandpa, but to all of them, the entire family. I remember being at so many family functions and parties and picnics, and great Aunt Vonnie coming up. We just called her Aunt Vonnie, but for you guys, we will say great Aunt Vonnie because she is my great aunt. Would come up to me and just sit with me and ask me how I'm doing and what was going on in my life, and same with Aunt Donna and Aunt Marilyn, and I just always felt like I was so important. Here are these women, who are so well known and have so much going on for them, and the fact that they knew my name and they would sit down and want to know all about me and what was going on, it really impacted me as a kid. And I think that even my own kids feel that way with some of our family members. The family, of course, is really huge now, and it's spread out all over the place, and we're not nearly as close as we used to be because there's no TV show holding everyone in the LA area. But my kids have fantastic memories with Uncle Cam, and I think that is something that really sets us apart as a family, and something that certainly impacted me. When I was 2, I think we had a King family fashion show, and Aunt Vonnie had done all of the clothes for it. She was a phenomenal seamstress and designer, and I was the grand finale. I was this, little teeny tiny little 2-year-old, and I was recently going through a baby book that my mom had put together for me, and there is a thank you note in it from Aunt Vonnie to me as a 2-year-old, thanking me for being such a good little girl and for all of the hard work that I did, and the fact that she would take the time to do that. I know I wasn't the only kid that got one. Probably every single person in that fashion show got a thank you note from her, but their husbands, even my Uncle Bill and my Uncle Jim, would always sit down with us, and Uncle Bill would come on over here, I want to chat with you, and he'd tickle us until we peed, and and then my Uncle Jim would always come up with hilarious nicknames for us. Uncle Jim was like the founder of Warner Brothers Records and the president of Capitol Records, and so when you're little, you look up to these people and you think, oh, they don't have time for me, but just knowing that they always did, and they were always interested, it really made me feel like I mattered. I was important. And that's just a little thought that I wanted to share with you guys about growing up in this family, and my dad's cousins still, I feel like everybody's so busy and they've got their own families and their own grandkids, and cousin Carolyn and cousin Tina, and everybody is just always so kind and thoughtful and sweet and genuinely makes you feel like they care about you, and like you're important. And that's just my little, my battery. Shoot, hopefully that didn't stop. That's just my thought for the day on perhaps what we could all do a little bit better with this next generation, with our kids, and people coming up. I know I try to be very good with the kids in my life that aren't necessarily just mine, with my friends' kids. I just shot off a thank you note to this adorable little girl that fixed dinner when I was over at their house, and hopefully those things stick and make them feel that way that I felt as a kid growing up. So, thoughts on growing up in the King family. And my dog just freaked out. Have a great day. Thanks for tuning in.